So I did this 5-day thing, right, where we were going through it, and I had this guy, and it was kind of a slog, and I remember I really didn't like doing it because the guy was like he was not fun. Yeah. And also driving in London sucks. Yeah. It's like a going slow simulator and stopping, waiting, giving way to people. Like it's not like driving outside of the London like at all. It's completely different. So I'm doing this, and
it's not like driving in Wales, definitely.
No. Yeah. We get to the 5th day. I'm like, so ready to like book the test? He's like, no. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're not ready yet. You're not ready. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like 5 days guarantee. What do you mean? He's like, you're going to fail right now if you do it. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, what do we do then? He's like, well, sits back like he loves it. I'm like, he's like, yeah, well, you could, pay me in cash and I'll give you some private lessons, And I was like, I was like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, it's okay.
According to me.
And it was like conveniently like really expensive.
Oh, wow.
But I was like, well, shit, I need him to say yes so that I can, because they won't do it without him saying
So you literally bribed him.
No.
He kind of blackmailed him.
He like no choice. Because I can't do the lesson without him agreeing.
Right.
So I was like, oh. And I was like, well, when do we do it? Because I kind of wanted to get this over and done with. I got to go to America in like a week. I wanted to like get this done. And he was like, well, are you free tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I'm free tomorrow. And he was like, all right, well, meet me in this car park tomorrow, and we'll do like 3 hours, and then we'll see how you do. Yeah. So I pay him an extortionate amount of money, and then we do the 3 hours. Like, all right, now you're ready. And I'm like, yeah,
of course you're ready now.
I was like, you probably just let me drove around for 3 hours, so it isn't illegally a bribe or something. So he finally does it, and the way that this works, normally in the UK, if you want to test, I don't know how it is in Australia, but you have to wait like a month.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
But because I don't know how they do it, but this company has like an in with the government where basically like if anyone cancels, they get all those reservations. So you basically have to just be ready. Right. And they'll be like, are you free tomorrow to do the test?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happened. So I said, yeah, I'm ready to get the test. And then like 1 day later, they were like, come to this place at this time. The teacher will be there. And I was like, oh shit, this is fucking nerve wracking.
Now we have to go to like, for all of our tests, you have to go to like a government certified like road and maritime services. Like,
we did.
We
did.
Yeah.
You have to do it as well. You have to go to a DVLA thing. So I go to this building, and it's like the official government building is above a salon. Like it's in this really weird like beat up room. It's just one room.
What?
And like there's like 7 other people in here. And I just turn up and I'm like, what the fuck? It's so weird.
Right.
It looks like some government building. It like doesn't look. It's just above like a salon and a chicken shop. So I go in and they're like, did you park the car? So there's no car park in this place either. Right. You park on the street.
Right.
So I'm parked on a hill upwards.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm on like right before like a.
Well, you're a manual, right?
Yeah, manual. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm parked on a hill right before a roundabout, and it's a really busy dual carriageway.
This
is awful, right?
That's like nightmare fuel.
This is literally like the worst possible
start.
Yeah.
So I'm bricking it, and this guy can tell I'm freaking out because it's a horrible start.
Yeah.
If you let it roll back at all, like you fall down the hill,
you fail.
You fail immediately.
Yeah.
And normally, like most driving like things, you might not even have to do this thing when you start from a hill. So I was like, shit, because my instructor decided to park here, this is where I had to stop.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck. So I'm doing it, and I'm nearly fucking. I let go of the brake, and I'm just not moving. I'm luckily maintaining it, and I slowly start to creep, and then this fucking lorry just goes down and like goes past me. I'm like freaking out. I'm like holding on to the clutch, like not letting it go because I don't want to go and I don't want to fall down. I'm just like sweating, and he's like, "Mate, calm down, mate. What are you doing? Just don't worry about it." And I'm like proper London. And I was like, yeah, thanks, man. I'm real calm now.
Yeah.
Luckily, I get going. It's really easy. And everything's going well. And this guy looks like he's falling asleep. He's literally like this on the window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I did a thing where I thought I failed. And I was like, oh, fuck, I was freaking out because I thought I failed halfway through. And I go to the end. And I passed. I did like one minor mistake. That was all I had. Don't know how. Because on the way to the test, I ran a red light. I did all things wrong and everything went terribly. And then, weirdly at the end of it, my instructor came with the guy who was like really weird. He came over and he was like, thought you'd failed. And I was like, why would you say that? Why would you? He's like, you know how I thought you failed? And I was like, how? And he's like, when the guy opens the door, before he gives the news, it's normally a bad sign. I'm like, why would that be a bad sign? Why does that make any sense? I don't understand. What, so he can run away?
Why is he like trying to like psychoanalyze it?
Sound like you're a dickhead as a
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, dude,
instructor.
he was a dick, bro.
I actually had a really nice instructor. He was like a proud dad. He was like, I knew you'd pass. I knew. But the thing is,
My dad was my instructor.
Your dad was your instructor?
Yeah, because in Australia, you don't, when you're on your learners, you don't have to go to lessons if you don't want
No,
to.
you don't have to in the UK either.
Yeah.
It's just like my parents didn't
So my
want
parents are like, no, that's fucking expensive. You're not going to lessons. My dad's like, son, I'll teach you. And I was like, Dad, you are literally the most crazy fucking driver I've known.
Yeah, because most people when they drive, they don't drive like how they 100% should.
Yeah, of
so I
course.
think my parents wanted to teach me because they were like, we're probably not doing some things right ourselves.
I was like, Dad, we're in an 80 zone and I'm doing 100. Is this okay? And he's like,
No, son, that's what you got to
and
do.
he was like, and he's like, no, it's like, no, everyone else is doing it. They can't arrest all of us. Come on.
That is true.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. That's fair enough.
Can I do this in the test?
Yeah, like, can I do, no, don't do it in the test, but you'll be right now. Yeah.
Driving is way more fun when you've passed your test because you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I can kind of like relax.
It's like,
I
this
can-
is like what it's like driving stressless now.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I actually remember the first time I was like in the seat of a car actually. So in the driver's seat of a car was actually when I was about like I think like 12 or 13. So like I remember like there was one day where I think there was like a friend of a cousin who was just like, you know, he was like very rich, so they like their family owned like a lot of land,
Right,
a lot of land. And so, on some of this land that they owned, right, they let their kid drive around a car. It was like a beaten up car, right? It was a beaten up car,
Hell yeah.
right? And I remember going to this place once, and I was like, and he was like driving around his field, and I was like, dude, this is badass. And he was like, you want to go? Want to go? And I was like, me? Me? 12 years old driving a car. Am I allowed?
Can you even see out the front?
Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to do that? And he was like, yeah, it's private land. It's legal. It's legal. And I was like,
This 12-year-old knew the concept of private land and legal. He was like, yeah, of course. Look at Article 1349.
well, that's what his dad told him, of course.
okay,
right,
okay.
And so I'm like, I go in the driver's seat and I start like fucking shitting myself.
Oh, yeah,
because
of course.
I'm just like I'm in a fucking car.
Bold choice, like a 12-year-old driver.
Yeah, as a 12-year-old in the seat of a car, it doesn't matter if you're like driving a Jeep or a Mini. It's like fucking operating a Gundam. Like,
Oh no, it
it's
is
terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I remember the first fucking thing I did, and he was just like, oh, just tap the pedal a bit, right? And as a 12-year-old, I don't know what tap means, right? And so I'm just like, I go what I think is like. I thought tapping it was going 50% of the way down.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tap this. I'm not going to put it all the way, just half the way. Like immediately,
Wheels start spinning.
I put it half the way, and I immediately crash into his gates. Right?
Oh, no.
Luckily, it's like an old wooden gate, and it's like in the middle of butt nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But like immediately, I smash into this gate, right? And I start freaking out, and he was like, all right, get out of the driver's seat.
Never again.
And like I think that put me off driving, like for like, well, obviously I was scared of the concept of driving just
yeah,
from
of
that
course.
like that one experience.
I think I remember now, yeah, like the first time I ever got in a car seat was probably around that age as well, like 12, 13,
Yeah.
when we went camping.
Yeah.
And like, you know, because you're in a camping field, right? Not a lot of like, and especially when you're in a big camping field and there's no one else there, it's just a lot of like really empty flat land. So my dad was like, son, you want to take it for a spin? And I was like, sure, Dad. I get in the seat, and in my head I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be easy. There's literally nothing around except one tree.
No.
Oh no!
But like any person will tell you, it's like, just don't go towards the tree. Just go to this entire open area where there is nothing. And in my head I was like, okay, just don't go over to the tree. What do? Immediately go towards the tree.
Did your dad not like pull the wheel?
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
It was like, son! What are you doing?
Did you hit it?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Luckily.
shit.
Oh my god, dude, I wouldn't be alive if I hit the tree.
I think my dad would kill me.
Yeah, my dad would 100% kill me. But like, I don't know what it was. It was like in my stupid 12-year-old head. The entire time I was like, don't go towards the tree. Don't go towards the tree. My hands were like, go towards the tree. Okay.
It's like a homing missile.
It's like target locked on.